Am I the only one that didn't know about the Fibonacci Dozens Strategy? Welcome to BetWise Academy, your ultimate guide to mastering casino games. Among these strategies, the Fibonacci Dozens Strategy stands out, a system rooted in mathematical harmony. This intriguing strategy leverages the sequence, a fascinating mathematical pattern found throughout nature and art. We have created a detailed video explaining the strategy, and we will provide the link in the description. Today we will be focusing on the gameplay that supports the strategy. Whether you're a seasoned gambler or a curious novice, the Fibonacci Dozens Strategy offers a unique and potentially rewarding approach to roulette. Join us as we unravel the Fibonacci Dozens Strategy, implementation to roulette with live gameplay reviews, and potential to transform your roulette experience. But before we get started, if you want to be kept up to date with more insightful tips and strategies, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, triumph emerges from relentless and unwavering dedication. Fibonacci Dozens, mastering the roulette table with this strategy. Now let's bring the Fibonacci sequence into the thrilling world of roulette. The Fibonacci Dozens Strategy focuses on betting on any dozens or any bet that pays 2 to 1, and covers 1/3 of the roulette table. You follow the Fibonacci sequence to determine your bet size. The sequence is the sum of the previous two numbers starting with 0, 1, then 1, 2, 3, 5, then 8, 13, 21, and so on. Here's how it works. Start with a unit bet on step 1. Choose a comfortable base unit for your bets. Bet on any dozen. If you lose, you move to the next number in the sequence, ensuring that your bet unit changes to suit the sequence and bet on the same dozen again. If you win, reset back to step 1 of the sequence, and we would suggest betting on a different dozen. By adhering to this sequence, you aim to capitalize on winning streaks and minimize losses during losing streaks. The Fibonacci sequence's progressive nature allows you to recoup previous losses with a single win, assuming the dozen you're betting on eventually hits. Before jumping into each of the 5 games we are reviewing, we will discuss the outcome of all 5 games. First off, we will set some guidelines to ensure all games are created equal. All games have been given a maximum 10-minute playing window. All games, our starting bet unit was 2% of our bankroll. For every game, as soon as we won on that dozen, we changed to another. We tracked our outcome at key milestones for those who wish to follow the strategy based on spins and not time. Now let's look at the results. Check out these fascinating stats. By the time we hit the first major milestone at spin number 10, we were ahead in all 5 games, with gains ranging from 6% to an impressive 16%. On average, that's an 11% boost by spin 10. Talk about a winning strategy. At our next milestone, spin number 20, the results were equally impressive. We saw profits ranging from 16% to 32%, averaging a 24% gain by spin 20. Now, at our final milestone, we saw the widest range of results. The number of spins per game varied from 51 to nearly 75. Our profit range per game spanned from 30% to an impressive 118%, giving us an average profit of 82%. Talk about an impressive strategy. Remember, the Fibonacci Dozens Strategy, like any roulette strategy, doesn't guarantee consistent wins. Despite the impressive results, roulette is a game of chance, and the outcome of each spin is unpredictable. Game number 1. Now let's delve into the gameplay. The session started off quite frustratingly. We faced 3 consecutive losses right out of the gate, which meant we were betting $300 per spin very early on. This aggressive betting caused our bankroll to dip below our starting balance, creating a tense beginning. Fortunately, we managed to hit a win on the 3rd loss. This crucial win brought our balance back above our starting point, easing the tension a bit. Luck seemed to be on our side as we then won 5 spins within the first 2 steps of the system. This winning streak allowed our balance to grow at the most optimal rate, boosting our confidence. From spins 10 to 20, the system was performing flawlessly. We consistently won within the first 3 steps, resulting in steady growth of our balance. During this period, our risk per hand was only $100 or $200 per spin, which helped maintain a comfortable betting pace and minimize potential losses. However, things took a nerve-wracking turn after this point. We faced 5 consecutive losses, which forced us to bet $800 per spin. This significant increase in bet size was nerve-wracking, but even with this high bet, our balance stayed above our initial starting point. We managed to secure a win at this critical juncture, which ensured our balance continued to grow. The relief was palpable. After this scare, the next 20 spins were relatively smooth. We continued to hit our wins within the first 3 steps, preventing our betting units from increasing. This consistency allowed our balance to grow steadily, providing a sense of stability and control. Around spin 46, we encountered another small scare. This time, our bet unit increased to $500. Despite the heightened tension, we were fortunate to win this bet and the subsequent spins. Each win reinforced our strategy's effectiveness and boosted our confidence further. By the end of our session, we had completed 51 spins and managed to grow our balance to $9,200, representing a total gain of 84%. Talk about an impressive strategy. The combination of steady growth and the ability to recover from losses truly showcases the strength and potential of this approach. The strategic bets and timely wins underline the effectiveness of sticking to a disciplined betting system. Game number 2. Let's get into the gameplay. Right from the start, it felt like deja vu from Game 1. We hit 3 losses back-to-back, forcing us to bet $60 per spin right off the bat. It was an aggressive start that made our initial bankroll shrink, setting a tense tone early on. Luckily, we hit a turning point in the game that eased our minds and allowed us to start building our balance back up. Over the next few spins, we managed to stay within the first 1 or 2 steps of the sequence, which was good for keeping our balance steady and growing optimally. Between spins 8 and 10, we did have a few moments where we reached step 3, but they turned out to be minor bumps as we ended up winning them. Unlike Game 1, the real nail-biter came much earlier this time, around spin 18. Starting with $20 per unit, we found ourselves betting $160 per unit, which definitely got our hearts racing, although we managed to handle it well. Thankfully, we hit that crucial spin that helped us recover our bankroll. But luck wasn't entirely on our side after that win. We faced another series of losses, pushing us to bet $100 or 5 units. Despite these challenges, we navigated through them smoothly and hit those spins. The strategy we used ensured that we stayed profitable throughout. Over the next 15 spins, we saw wins at steps 2 and 3 of the sequence, which was a reasonable outcome given the circumstances. From spin 44 onwards, things took a positive turn with wins at steps 1 and 2, maximizing our balance growth and profitability. This brought us to the end of the session with a balance of $1,820. Overall, we achieved an 82% gain over 55 spins, which is quite impressive, especially on a double-zero table. Game number 3. Let's dive into the gameplay. This time we switched back to a single zero table. The table setup was slightly different from what we're used to, but our strategy remained effective. The game kicked off on a positive note. We were hitting our numbers within the first 2 or 3 steps of the sequence, which was fantastic. We did encounter more $60 bets than we'd prefer, which affected our potential balance growth. However, we still came out on top, which is what counts with this strategy. As the game progressed, things were going smoothly until spins 31 to 36, where we consistently hit our numbers in step 1. This reflected excellently on our balance graph, giving it a significant boost. After this successful streak, we maintained our momentum for another 5 spins before facing our first significant challenge. We had to place 5 units totaling $100. Even if we had lost that bet, our earlier profits would have kept us in the positive. Luckily, we won, fueling a rapid balance growth. By this point, we had already achieved over a 50% profit. Over the next 20 spins, it was a dynamic mix of hitting various stages of the sequence, mirroring the session's initial excitement. Approaching the session's end, our balance had nearly doubled, but then a turning point emerged. We faced a daunting stretch of 7 consecutive losses, leading us to bet $260 or 13 units based on the Fibonacci sequence, nearly a quarter of our starting bankroll. Unfortunately, luck wasn't on our side this time, and we lost that spin. Despite this setback, we still closed the session at $1,300, marking a solid 30% gain. This was largely due to our strong balance growth in the earlier spins. Game number 4. Let's dive into the gameplay. This time we moved back to a double-zero table. We started with a $1,000 balance, and our bet units were $20 each. The game kicked off perfectly for the first 5 spins. We mostly hit in step 1, giving our balance an instant boost. We hit a small speed bump around spin 6, losing 2 in a row and having to bet $40. But it wasn't a big deal, and we hit the next spin. Then things got really interesting. We faced 6 consecutive losses, forcing us to bet $260 per hand. However, this is when we faced a real issue with this strategy. We hit the table limit for dozens at only $250, and so that was all we could bet. It was a scary moment early in our session. After that scare, things settled down. Over the next 15 spins, we only faced 2 consecutive losses once, allowing us to build a strong balance through the middle part of the session. By this time, we had made almost a 50% profit, and things were looking pretty comfortable. Over the next 10 spins, we encountered a few sequences of 2 or 3 losses in a row, but nothing major. We did have one scare with 4 losses in a row, forcing us to bet $100 per spin. This wasn't too bad because even if we had lost, we were still in profit. Fortunately, we didn't lose, and we continued growing our profit. For the next 6 spins, we had a few sequences of 3 losses before winning, which slowed our balance growth. But in the last 3 or 4 spins of the session, we hit within step 1, giving us a nice boost at the very end. We finished the session after 52 spins with an excellent 88% profit. Game number 5. Let's dive into the gameplay. After having quite a bit of success in our first 4 games with this strategy, we decided to test it on a more unpredictable, random number-generated version of roulette. I wouldn't recommend this version to anyone, it's pretty rough. If you watch the wheel animation closely, you can see it's just a random number generator. But it's great for testing this strategy. This table was a double zero table, and we started with a $1,000 balance, so our base unit was $20. The game started off pretty normally. For the first 15 spins, we were winning within the first 3 or 4 steps of the sequence, just like in our other games. When we got to spin 15, we faced our first real test, 5 losses in a row, forcing us to bet $160. A loss here would have dropped us below our starting balance. Luckily we won, and for the next 3 spins we won within step 1, which helped build our balance. Then, at spin 15 we hit a 6th consecutive loss, pushing us to bet $260 per spin. Considering we were only a third of the way through the session, this was a bit worrying. Fortunately, we won that one, keeping our balance positive. For the next 10 spins, things were more normal, with wins coming 1 in every 3 spins. But then, things changed dramatically. We started facing a string of losses followed by recoveries. At one point, we were betting $420 per spin, the highest ever in all our games. We were lucky to hit that spin, but from then until the end of the session, we kept facing big bets, $100 and $260 spins. This had us really worried about the outcome of the session, and we were looking forward to the end of those 10 minutes. Ultimately, we ended up with $2,180, a gain of 118%. However, this doesn't reflect the riskiness of this roulette version. It shows that you need to know when to step away from the game and ensure your bet units are supported by your starting balance. Just to recap, we are showing you the summary of the 5 games again. Now at our final milestone, we saw the widest range of results. The number of spins per game varied from 51 to nearly 75. Our profit range per game spanned from 30% to an impressive 118%, giving us an average profit of 82%. Talk about an impressive strategy. If you found this strategy helpful, don't forget to subscribe to BetWise Academy for more tips and strategies. Hit the like button and share this video with your friends who love roulette. Stay tuned for more exciting content. Thanks for tuning in to BetWise Academy. We hope these videos help you make smarter bets and boost your winnings. Thanks for watching, and remember, triumph emerges from relentless and unwavering dedication. See you in the next video. Subscribe today and let us guide you on your journey to becoming a savvier, more successful gambler.